together. If a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change comes. Briefly, I want to share on dead amongst the living. Dead amongst the living. Dead amongst the living. There are many individuals that are dead amongst the living. The attribute of a dead body is visible in their lives. Even whilst they are living, there are some attributes of dead body that is at work. You can see it visibly in their lives. They are alive, but things are dead in them. They may be breathing, but not productive. They may be breathing, but there is nothing around their life to show that there is a reason to exist. Production is the mother of advancement. If you are not producing or you are not productive, you cannot advance. Am I talking to somebody here? In Matthew 27, if you read verse 57 to verse 61, Jesus, the Son of God, died and he was buried. So in the 3 days of Jesus in the grave, nothing happened in the physical. There was not production in the physical realm. I know the Bible or people preach and they tell you when Jesus died, he went into the grave, he went into hell, he went into Gehenna, he did a lot of things fine, but physically his body was immobile. His body was stagnant. So for the 3 days of Jesus' death in the flesh, before he rose, he was immobile. He was unproductive physically. Am I speaking to somebody here? If you read John 11 and verse 38, a man called Lazarus died and he spent 4 days in the grave. Sir, in that 4 days, his sisters were weeping. Mary and Martha, they were weeping. They must have slapped him. They must have hit him. Lazarus, wake up. Lazarus, this is the thing you used to do before. Why are you not doing it now? Because the man was dead, he was unproductive. Because the man was dead, nothing was written positively about him in those 4 days. You will agree with me that many are just walking on the face of the earth, but it's as though they are dead. If you look at their business, it is obvious they are dead in that area because their businesses are not producing. They go to their shop from morning to night, they do all the online postage and everything, but it does not resonate to the business. It does not produce anything. Am I talking to someone here?
Yes, sir.
If you look at their marital life, they are all productive there. Why? Because something is dead in their life. If you look at their family, you see the misunderstanding there. You see the gross disunity. It's obvious they are dead in their family life. Am I talking to someone at all?
Yes,
you consider their destiny, how humongous the destiny ought to be, but it's not producing as it ought. It's a sign that there is death around that area, because production is the mother of advancement. If you see certain areas of their life that are not producing, a sign that other part may be living, but there is a dead part, dead amongst the living. In Mark chapter 10, if you read verse 47, sir, blind Bartimaeus was the case considered there. The Bible told me that this man was on the highway begging. They took him to the highway and gave him a position there to begin to beg. This man would not have been a beggar if he had sight to see. If his eyes were not impaired, if his eyes were still perfect, he would not be by the wayside begging. Ladies and gentlemen, that blindness killed a part of him that should have been productive. Blind Bartimaeus may have been somebody who owned a boutique and selling clothes, but a blind man cannot sell clothes. Am I communicating with somebody here? So that the death of his sight was what impaired his destiny. If you also read the book of Acts chapter 3 from verse 1 to verse 10, you consider the story of a man that was lame by the gate called Beautiful. This man would have advanced in life. He would have been a prominent person in the society. He would have either been a medical doctor, he would have been a politician. Something glamorous would have happened to him, but the man was stagnant by the gate called Beautiful because he was impaired in his feet. There was something dead in his life, and there is a way something can be dead in a person's life, the person cannot advance. Today I have a word of prophecy for you. Any part of your destiny that is dead, whether your family, your business, your career, or the glory of God that is in your life has been buried, today as you stand and scream a better amen, the God of restoration shall restore what is missing. I say you shall enjoy restoration in your destiny. You shall enjoy restoration in your life. You shall enjoy restoration in your destiny. You shall enjoy restoration in your life. You shall enjoy restoration in your destiny. You shall enjoy restoration in your life. You shall enjoy restoration in your destiny. So your feet shout amen like a thunder. Sit down. John 5 from verse 5 to verse 8. The story of a man. Who was the man? This man was an impotent man. His name was not mentioned because his condition took his identity. There are things you are going through that can take your identity. There are things you are going through that can steal your identity from you. The man was lame in his foot, and because of his lameness, he spent 38 years stagnant. So that means his feet were dead. And because his foot and feet were dead, he could not advance. Look at it here. A certain man was there which had an infirmity 38 years. He was not supposed to be there for 38 years. What is he doing stagnant? If his name, if his feet were not dead, he won't be there. There are certain stagnation life takes you through because of an impediment in your life, because of the lameness of a certain part of your destiny. Stagnation becomes inevitable. Stagnation becomes inescapable. Am I talking to someone at all? He was there, lifeless. Do you know that at death, a man becomes immobile? A man becomes unconscious at death. The moment the person dies, he's immobile, he's unconscious. Nothing works with him anymore. A once shameful person, can I say that to you? A once shameful person is no longer ashamed when he dies. Am I correct? You see them, have you been to the morgue? You see the way they lie them down. They lie all of them down. All of them, they just drop all of them. They drop all of them. They drop all of them. Why? Because he's dead. Dead amongst the listen. In the place we read, he said, if a man dies, shall he live again? Hear me. It's a question I'm asking someone here. It's a question you have asked your destiny many years. That is there a way for me to come out of this condition? If a man dies, can he live again? It's a question destiny is asking you, and you are asking people. Are you sure this status can change? Are you sure the moment the woman with the issue of blood, Mark chapter 5 from verse 25, the moment the woman discovered that there's an impediment that doctors could not cure, she was having an ailment that all her effort could not produce, she began to sell all that she had. She became comfortable for the next 12 years. For the next 12 years, she built comfort around that her status, knowing that there is no change coming anymore, until she heard another thing something she has never heard before. She had heard about ISTH and she had gone there. She had heard about loot and she had gone there. She had heard about UPTH and she had gone there. She had heard about some small medical centers and she had gone there. They said there's MRI here, there is this test ability here, there is this test capacity there. She has been visited everywhere. She came to a point after she had sold all that she had, that okay, maybe this is how my destiny was created. Maybe this is how I should live my life. There's someone in the crowd that is in that position now. You have come because of how you have put so much effort in different ways, and it's like nothing is working. Okay, let me just cope like this and then just die. Even when the preacher is shouting, God will favor you, God will open your door, you don't think there is a possibility. What will God favor me with? Is it with my 65,000 naira salary that even before it comes, it is finished? What will God, Pastor, you're talking about favor, where will it come from? I've never enjoyed help. I've never enjoyed favor. Somebody's talking like that. So even when you talk about the multi-dimensional ways of how God blesses people, they don't care anymore, because man of God, talk something else. My salary is so meager that it's 15,000. What will 15,000? How will 15,000 bring favor? So you have stereotyped yourself in a way that okay, I may die a tenant, but at least my children met me in one house. If a man dies, shall he live again? Maybe you have come to a point and saying, look at that, my mates are married men. Look at who I married. Are you even aware now? I will say this without fear of favor. I will say this. Most homes are being run by the women, not the men. Are you aware? You don't know. And most women, they do that to cover the shame of the men. They don't say it outside. You may not know. The man is just gorgeously dressed, but just a figurehead. Yes, gorgeously dressed, figurehead. Why? If you consider them. Now, I'm not saying it's the man's fault. No. If you consider, at a point they have come to a conclusion. Since the blessings of God or whatever blessing, it could not come from the man, okay, let the woman just keep taking. And the woman is just coping. She will provide food, she will provide this, she will provide that. The family just lives around that status quo. They just live around that area. After 35 years of meticulous working for government, you keep living in that circle. It's just a life of circle like that. And it is a question the Bible is asking. If a man now comes to that point, will he be able to advance again? That's the question Job is asking. If you now get to that point where you have found out that all your effort is not advancing you, are you sure advancement will come from anywhere? Can I surprise you? Esther had an encounter, and Esther got to the throne. Esther became the queen, and ladies and gentlemen, Mordecai was excited. Mordecai was happy. Mordecai said, hey, thank God, God has remembered my family. Until finally the Lord has done it. Finally Mordecai and his people were in trouble. Esther could not do anything. Esther could not do anything. Mordecai met Esther. He says, few days for all of us to be killed. I thought God gave us this, brought you here for such a time as this. I thought God gave you this throne so that we can advance, so that life can be better for us. Am I talking to somebody here? I thought God brought us here and brought you on the throne so that things can be better for us. Now we are calling on you. You have refused to help. Oh, that means some persons now say that means it is finished for us. All the Jews in here in this country will be finished. But Mordecai said to them, relax. God brought her here for such a time as this. But even if she refused to help us, he said help will come from another quarter. There is no limitation with God's ability to help you. There is no limitation with God's ability to rescue you. You may not be seeing help with your optical eyes, but I tell you, help will come from somewhere. Am I talking to somebody here? Listen to what David said in Psalm chapter 121. He said, I look up to the hills from whence cometh my help. And ladies and gentlemen, if you read that Bible verse very well, you will discover what he was trying to tell us. That I looked upon the hills and the help refused to come. I look up to the hills from whence cometh my help. He said, but my help cometh from where? The Lord, the maker of the heavens and the earth. The hill may be that uncle that promised you. The hill may be that helper. But sometimes even the hill may shut its doors against you. But I like to tell you that even if the hill does not help you, the valley can produce for you. As far as God is involved, there is no limitation to how he provides for his children. Am I even talking to one person in here?
Yes, sir.
You may come to a point and you say, oh, how will I pay this rent? How will I pay? I don't want to be a ridicule. I don't want to be a reproach. Sir, help can come from anywhere. There's no limitation with God. There is no limitation with God. Help can come from anywhere. Help can come. Am I talking to somebody here?
Yes.
Help can come. So are you in that state now where you are so confused? You don't know what to do. You don't know how to advance. And the question keep resonating. It keep repeating itself, in your mind. And what's the question? If a man dies, can he live again? If a man dies finally, can he live again? Oh, I love what the man of God Job said. He said, for all the days of everything you go through has an appointed time. The limitation has its timing. Bros, once the time for it to end has come, it does not go further. All the days of my appointed time will I wait until my change comes. Sir, your change is coming. You have seen the change of your fellow comrades. You have seen the change of your fellow compadre. You have seen the change of your fellow companions. You have seen the change of church members. You have seen the change of fellow department members. When is your change coming? Sir, I tell you most solemnly, change is coming for you. I said change is coming for you. Are you here this morning? You are all messed up. Your heart is thinking about something evil. You are in depression state. Your life is not full of anxiety. Change is coming, sir. Change may not come from where you expect it to come, but change can come from somewhere. Change may not come from the school you went through, but change can come from somewhere else. Change may not have come to you from the business you do, but I tell you most solemnly, change can come. You have put your hope and said this is the place. No, sir, it's not there. Your hope is in God. Your hope is in God, because when you now put your hope on men, you have now relegated God. You have substituted God. God leaves the field for you to begin to play. And bro, you'll be so surprised, so disappointed if that is how you live your life. You'll be so disappointed. Trust in the Lord and in the power of his mind. Trust in the Lord. And can this condition change? Yes. When the appointed time comes, it will change. Can my level change? Yes. When the appointed time comes, it will change. Will I ever become wealthy? Yes. When the appointed time comes, it will change. God appoints time for everything that happens in your life. Surely there is an end. The expectation of the righteous shall not be cut short. As I began to study about how Job's life went from where it was to where we saw him, I discovered there are two things that every man and woman listening to me in church must imbibe to advance. No matter what is dead in your life, no matter what part of your life is messed up, there are two things you must imbibe. You must put this whole arm on you and you see yourself advancing. Number one is in Romans 8:11. But if the spirit of him that raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he said that same spirit shall quicken your mortal body. When Jesus died and was immobile, he was helpless. There was a spirit that descended to rekindle him, to quickening his mortal body. There was a spirit that descended. Sir, no matter what is dead in your life, if that spirit can be rekindled, if that Holy Spirit of God can come on you, just like it came on the apostles in Acts chapter 2. Remember when Jesus had died and Jesus had gone back to the Father, one thing was very, very, very popular. The disciples went back to all the things they were doing. Those who were traders went back to trading. Those who were fishermen went back to fishing. Those who were tax collectors like Matthew went back to tax collecting. But I tell you, most assured, they had a word from God that they must converge in Acts chapter 2. And while they converged, the Spirit came on them and it rekindled that dead part, that passionate part to preach the gospel that was dead after the death of Jesus. The Spirit of God came and rekindled it, and they were on fire for God. And that's why today you can read the book of Romans, today you can read the book of Acts of the Apostles, you can read the book of 1st and 2nd Corinthians, you can read the book of Colossians and Thessalonians, you can read the book of John and Revelation, Titus and all. Why? Because the Spirit came upon dead men and they were rekindled. This morning the Spirit is about to settle on your head. Amen. Somebody say, come on Holy Ghost. Come on Holy Ghost. In Ezekiel 37 and verse 14, he said, I will put my Spirit upon you and you shall live again. He was talking about the dry bones. They were dried. They were not able to ascend out of the valley. They were very, very dried. They were so dry that there was no capacity in them to even take a step. But when the Spirit came upon them, they became an exceeding great army. Why? Because the Spirit of God settled on them. Any man that carries the Spirit of God will enjoy revival, will enjoy recovery and restoration. This morning, get ready for the Spirit of God. 2 Corinthians 3, if you read verse 13, the Bible says, now the Lord is that Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Nobody carrying the Spirit of God can be in bondage, because the Spirit of God is the Spirit of freedom. The Spirit of God is the Spirit of emancipation. The Spirit of God is the Spirit of deliverance. The Spirit of God is the Spirit of prosperity. The Lord is that Spirit. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Tell them, say, I will carry the Spirit of God. Tell them, say, I will carry the Spirit of God. Tell them, say, I will carry the Spirit of God. Tell them, say, I will carry the Spirit of God. Tell them, say, I will carry the Spirit of God. I will carry the Spirit of God. Are you still here?
Yes, sir.
I said, are you still here?
Yes, sir.
Now the Lord is that Spirit. Sir, there is a point you get to, you are down and out. I don't know if it has happened to you, but it has happened. It happens to every human being, I believe. No matter what you think you know, no matter what you think you have, you are down and out. You want to pray. You want to pray in the night. You just lift up your hands. The next thing that comes as a picture in your mind is the debt you are owing. Has it happened to you? Stop that drum. It may not be debt. I'm just saying that there are other challenges. They'll just come up. You want to serve and worship this God. You are just, because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Lion of Judah lives. All my fear is gone. And because I know He holds my future, and my life is worth a living just because He lives. You just want to go to the next stanza. The devil shows you the picture of your broken home. He shows you the picture of your son that is a challenge to you. He shows you the picture of your daughter that is a challenge to you. Sir, no matter how spiritual you think you are, from that spiritual realm, you will see yourself walking in natural realm. Am I correct? It will bring you down once. The devil does that. But can I surprise you? When the devil throws these kind of stones to you, turn the stones to bread. When he throws them to you, use the stones as foundation to trample upon.